Hello, welcome to this week's episode of Get Real with Real Estate. I am Melissa Steele, one half of Team Steele, or well, a small percentage actually if you factor in the agents on our team, but I am one half of John and Melissa Steele, Team Steele San Diego Homes here in San Diego, and I'm excited to deliver the message to you guys today on down payment and down payment savings. And one of the things that I very often get from buyers, especially at like open houses or when we're reaching out to a friend and we're like, why haven't you bought yet? You know, like, what's going on, my friend? The response is always like, oh, I'm saving for that down payment. And here in San Diego, you and I both know that's a tough go. You're going to be saving until the cows come home, my friends, because the market is appreciating at 10%, and you and I both know it's real hard to save money at a 10% rate. For example, if you are saving for a $400,000 house and you have the impression that you need to be saving 20% down payment, yeah, it's going to take a really long time to save up $80K, and then next year when that same house is valued at $450, it's going to be that much harder to save the money that you want to be saving, which would be $90K, and so on and so forth. So the savings game almost is like, you almost need to outpace it, right? And it's very challenging to do that in a market like San Diego that's super aggressive. And a lot of people that I know are saving for this 20% down payment. Are you under the misconception that you need 20% down payment for a home? If so, give me a like or some love. Because I'm very curious, are you under the impression, is your perception of real estate that you need to save 20% down? Because you might be incorrect. Depending on your finances, and that really comes down to a lender, which if you need a suggestion, I've got some amazing rock stars that would love to help you. You ultimately want to check your credit, your debt to income ratio. They're going to check a variety of different things like your bank account statements, your W-2. They're going to make sure that your debt to income ratio is on point, meaning that your debt does not exceed your income. And basically, it's the lender's job to make sure that you can qualify and afford a home. But are you aware that based on your particular finances, so your credit rating, your debt to income ratio, you actually might qualify for a 5 or a 10% down loan program, and even potentially as low as like a 3 to a 3.5? And these aren't crappy loans. John and I literally got one ourselves for this beautiful property that I'm sitting in right now that's our primary residence. Had we not been able to afford and get qualified at a 5% down loan program, I can guarantee you, like literally guarantee, put money on it, that we would not have been able to buy a home. And the reason being that roughly $30K that we put down would have been far more if we were saving 10% or saving for 10% down payment, 20% down payment, any of that. It would have been a really, really hefty endeavor for us, and it likely would have been an unachievable goal. But because we looked into our financing first, which is typically the very first step, you want to make sure that you're financing, that you actually qualify for a home, and then you want to understand the terms of your loan. So can you qualify for a 3, 5, 10% down loan program? Because the chances are, if you've been saving for a couple years already, and you're waiting for that 20% kind of nest egg down payment, fear not, because you very realistically might be able to leverage your money right now versus later, and then experience and reap the benefits of those amazing things like appreciation in a hot market. So instead of then fighting the market and you're like, oh, I'm trying to save, but oh, home prices keep getting more and more, you're actually on pace and you're building equity within your home, maintaining your monthly payment, achieving home ownership. So it's really amazing. And John and I did not realize that we were able to afford a home until we actually went through that process. We went through, and I will be the first to admit, I handle the real estate side of things, lenders handle the lending side of things, and the lending aspect can be real tedious. You definitely need to provide a lot of paperwork, you need to provide your tax returns, basically everything that they're going to use to verify that you are a qualified buyer. It's annoying, but when you partner with an awesome lender, all that's going to be done up front versus like 2 to 3 weeks into the transaction. So ultimately, you're just saving yourself time later. And you want that lender to run full numbers for you and see exactly what it looks like. How much are you going to qualify for? How much are you going to need to put down? What is your monthly payment going to look like? Because at 5% down, you might realize that you need less than $40,000 like we did to put down. That's how much we put down, less than $40K. We put down, I want to say, less than $30K. And we got creative. We had 401ks sitting from a prior job, and each individual can take up to $10,000 out of, honk right back at ya, out of a personal 401k, depending on how your 401k or retirement is structured. You might be able to take up to $10,000 from that account with no penalty. So I took $10,000 out of mine because goodness knows we didn't have $30K to sit in the bank. I took $10K out of my 401k. John took $10K out of his. We had some closing costs to account for, and then I want to say at the end we wrote a check for $16,000. And of course, that in itself was a huge stretch, as it is for many people who are buying a home. It pretty much wiped out the bank account. But what was amazing is we immediately went from paying we were about to pay over $2,000 a month for a studio. With 5% down, we moved right into our home at a $2,700 a month payment, including PMI, at a 5% down loan program. So really amazing process for us. It was not easy. I'm not going to sugarcoat it and be like, it'll be super easy. Go get qualified and we'll find you a house, no problem. No, probably not as easy as that. But we will help to make the process as easy for you as possible. We are partnered with amazing lenders who will make the process easy for you. And I'm a firm believer that you don't know until you know. So it's very hard to even be saving for a home or to have an understanding of what you're saving for if you haven't had these initial conversations to be able to prepare yourself for the things that you get to do. You might be saving literally till the cows come home, then go to get qualified after you've saved, the supposed 20%, and find out that you can't even qualify for something you haven't been working on. So the first step is always a pre-qualification, matching yourself with an awesome lender who will go through that pre-approval process and not just, write numbers on a piece of paper, but somebody who will really evaluate your financials, evaluate your debt to income ratio and what you have going on, particularly to see what your loan is going to be structured like when it comes time to buy a house and what that process is going to look like for you when the time comes. So hope this information was helpful. If you are saving for a home, we would love to chat because, like I said, you might be oversaving. We knew what we were getting ourselves into when we connected with the lender, and we ultimately then were able to set the goals that we needed to have in place for finding this home. Once the lender told us that we qualified for the 5% down loan program, it was amazing. We immediately got to start saving and transitioning into what buying this house looked like once we had the knowledge to take and to put into action. So I'll talk to you guys soon. Hope this was interesting and helpful for you guys. Please put any questions in the comments below, or if you'd like to be connected with the Rockstar lender, we would love to make that connection. And it'll be like a match made in heaven, I can promise you. Hope you have a great rest of your day. We'll talk to you soon.